You're live.
After attempting to put a brand new CP connecting rod on a Honda crank pin and it wouldn't go again, I decided to make a video showing the country what's wrong with these connecting rods. Here's a stock used Honda rod, has about 3/10,000ths run out. Here's another Honda 450 connecting rod that had the hell ran out of it, and it's got about 4/10ths run out. Here's a brand new stock Honda connecting rod, and it is almost perfectly round. Here's a brand new CP connecting rod. As you can see, it's over 2/1000ths of an inch small, 2.5 thou small. This rod will, as I will show you in a few minutes, when we go to the next step of trying to put it over the roller bearings on the crank pin, will not even be forced on. That's good.
You're live.
Okay. And this is somewhat the ease one with the proper clearance should have of going on. They should just be, there's got to be clearance, as the inner speed of the bearing is higher than the outer speed with no clearance. One side's always skating. Here's trying to put the Carrillo, brand new. They bought it from Moose Racing, made by CP. You can't even force it on over the bearings. That's not even halfway on, and I would have to press it on. There's no clearance whatsoever. This thing would last from 30 feet to 30 seconds, and it would blow up. And see, I can't even get it off now. I gotta work it to even get it off there. When we lost our Yamaha, before I started checking these, see, you can't even get it off. It's not even coming off now, hardly. When we lost our Yamaha, before I started checking these, it was a brand new engine. We ran it in, went to the racetrack, the first launch at RPMs, grabbed toward the bottom of the connecting rod, and I'll show you the history of that. So in order to hone these things properly, a customer will have to find somebody with a Sun and pin hone, such as this machine, and you need to. This is the rod that was brand new, undersized, and you need to support it by a couple used rods to keep the angularity straight. Otherwise, it won't be perfectly round. So I've already taken almost 2 thou metal out of this rod. And whereas it once was up into the 2 thou range, now we're down around 2/10,000ths of an inch and almost perfectly round. So we'll keep honing here, creeping up on it a little at a time. Every time that if you have this done somewhere, it's going to be imperative that you have a truing rod on each side of it to make the hole perfectly straight. Otherwise it'll become barrel shaped. Now we're down to about 1/10,000ths of an inch. Probably if somebody doesn't have a Sun and hone, more likely than not they won't be able to hone this properly. There's nothing out there that is superior to a Sun and hone. Like 2/10ths on that side, 1/10 on this side. I'm going to rough the stone up a little more. pusher. Every few tenths you got to flip the rod around because they were at about 0. So I got to flip the rod around. It's got a little taper to it. Zero, 0, 0. And to give you some idea how precision this gauge is, between my 2 thumbnails right there is 1 hair of your head. If you were to measure a hair of your head, that is how thick your hair is out there. So right now this is the equivalent to a factory Honda size, and I'm going to give it about another 3 10,000ths of an inch clearance above and beyond. Because when the guys are running the heck out of these things and revving them, the rod goes out around a little, and this is what I found is the best to keep the bearings alive the longest.
Okay, you're live.
Ready? And this is the last few strokes we have on this rod here, where our finish will be a couple 10,000ths larger than the stock Honda, and there's the continuity of it. It's like 2.5 10,000ths of an inch. Again, like I said, there's the hair on your head right there. Okay, that's good.
You're live.
So now that this connecting rod has been honed properly, and again, I do want you to stress that it was sold by Moose Racing. However, they have no culpability here whatsoever. The lack of clearance and the improper clearance is something that is from Carrillo CP. And here's our first go together here, where it wouldn't go together at all before. That's how easy it goes together now. That's how they should go. So we're going to show you the YFC blow up that was before I came to the point where I was checking all these connecting rods. We're going to show you what happens when you don't have enough clearance.